They will give you always the best rate.
They connect to Binance, HitBTC, LMAX, and Kraken.
What I like about Swissborg is that they have an amazing app.
Pow wow, yo yippee yay guys. Pound number 31, super excited to be with you guys. I really missed you, but I did enjoy my beautiful honeymoon in Tanzania. It was amazing. So today, what are we going to dive into? To love the community, then talk about the markets. Yes, the bull is back in the game. And then talk about Swissborg ecosystem out it's flourishing every week. As you guys know, my name is Cyrus Vazel, the proud founder and CEO of Swissborg, always here to serve you. Big shout out to Roman and all these beautiful green eyes. There's more and more green eyes going on. And by the way, during my little cut, was not very often on my mobile, but time to time, I checked on my phone Twitter, guys, and seriously, the memes on Twitter are just breaking me up all the time. I love what you guys are bringing to the table, because we have to democratize wealth management by making it fun, fair, and community-centric. And definitely the fun part and the community-centric part, we always feel it. Thank you. So big shout out to everyone enjoying those green laser eyes. Question of the week, thanks to Igor. Which implication will these uncertainties between countries about crypto regulation have on the long run? I think so. That is a great question. And I think so. This is why, as well, with Swissborg, we're always very cautious. And I think so that every regulator has a standpoint. There's the US that really has this, SEC and CFTC and the different regulators in the US are right now passing more and different type of bills, which is great. And we have here in Europe as well, MiCA, which is really one of the main regulators here in Europe that's trying to create a real format regulating all the VASP, such as us, the virtual asset service providers, to have a real great role. And obviously, custody is one thing, ICOs is another thing, security offerings is other things going forward. DeFi is going to be something growing, and rather it's l'AMF in France, here in Switzerland with the FINMA, which is not part of the MiCA yet, but it's having really different forms. And I think so. It's not quite uncertain. Actually, it's probably the opposite. You see more regulators asking the good questions and opening a dialogue with a lot of different people. There's lobbies, but as well with virtual asset service providers. And I think so, as we have this back and forth conversation with regulators, I think so it's a great, healthy way how we could really bring, obviously, R&D, new types of services, but always through a regulated approach. And I think so that's something that we really do something carefully here at Swissborg, and how we're going to provide this within the European market, and hopefully one day more than that. Educational section. Who are the GOATs? Greatest investors of all time. So mainly that is people that have brought into the financial game, have a really long term of building wealth through the financial markets. And you could talk about people that look at fundamentals, their own style, like Warren Buffett, but you could see as well people like Bill Ackman that was really more into really keeping very few amount of investments and being very strongly activists. Then you had, the Paul Tudors, you had as well as Paul Simons, the Renaissance Technology, one of the best quant, if not the best quant of all time, being able to systematically create investment strategies that are all based on past data and how to implement them on different technical analysis or arbitrage. What we have to believe is that, and I think that's something very important to how to become a GOAT. There's two things. First is that you always have to understand those 3 Ps, right? That investment should have a good profit. You should understand the product and the philosophy. And that's how you start to become a good GOAT, right? Is really going into things that you believe in financial purpose, you like, and you use the product all the time, and that you believe in the philosophy behind it. Then I think so it's the idea to become a great GOAT is to have as well as strategy if you really want to get into it. So what will be the trading strategy, right? Are you going to be looking at these different 3 Ps only on a fundamental value? Are you going to look at it by being able to become a swing trader, become a more active trader, or just to be buy and hold like a Warren Buffett and be more a hodler and hopefully a yodeler. And I think so that these are two different elements to really start understanding, bringing more importantly your risk perspective, which is something very, very great. And last but not least, making sure that you're, I think so, diversified enough in order to really enjoy what you guys are doing. Big shout out to lovely new Swissborgers within the family. Rebecca Yates is going to help us a lot on the talent operations side. So all the people, I'm really glad that she's part of the team. Big shout out to Thiago, my man. Really cool to have him. Scal engineer is going to do a lot of great things on the back end. As well, Shane Murphy, he's going to be doing a lot of things in the engineering and the back-end part as well. Last but not least, Florin, again, as you guys really notice, we are recruiting a big amount of people, a lot of brilliant engineers, but not only people that be building products, operations, all of that to ensure that we are offering you the best services, and we'll be adding more products and features in the future. If you want to be part of our lovely, beautiful family, please check out any of these different roles or refer one of your best friends. You could earn up to $3,000 worth of Swissborg tokens. That could change a lot in your life, but more importantly, the life of the ones that will be building awesome things with us. News of the week. London fork, obviously Ethereum, that was a great one. I think so this has really become a great time. We have seen so many transactions happening, especially on OpenSea through NFTs. And I think so the London hard fork is amazing. It's how to reduce essentially gas fees, how to scale Ethereum. And I think so this is a great way to show that, you know, when you're getting into Ether, right? It's not the Ether 5 years ago was the very different Ethereum that is today. And even tomorrow when Ethereum 2.0 is going to come in, I think so this really shows as well how technology really changes and evolves, scales, reduces transaction fees, and then eventually can arrive to mass adoption. So big shout out to all those wonderful developers at Ethereum, and then shout out as well to internally to make sure that, you know, we're able to update our ledger and do it in a very smooth way. Now, Latin America going more and more into crypto. Uruguay, Colombia are trying to make really more and more push towards that same thing of bringing Bitcoin as a legal tender, a regular currency in their countries. I think so this is something that is really great. We are showing as well that investors, institutional investors, are getting more and more into DeFi, such as Genesis Global and other guys. Big little talk about Ray Dalio that he preferred Bitcoins over bonds, but still gold. Probably Ray Dalio is a bit FOMO on the fact that a lot of his small Paul Tudor friends and other hedge fund guys got into Bitcoin much earlier than he did. And last but not least, there's a red alert. Crypto campaigns gathering support to amend U.S. infrastructure bill. All in all, they're seeing more and more positive things going towards crypto, and that is the reason why the market update is green and the bull is back. And I think so that's something really great. We say definitely that, you know, the big news coming from Germany that we're able to invest in. Institutional funds are able to invest up to 20% into crypto. That is really big thing that the BaFin released. So that means that more and more institutional investors and retail investors are going to be able to get through these different funds, which is great. That has pulled really mainly Bitcoin and Ethereum. The other, the other altcoins are reacting, but not as much as the two main ones, which I think so is really great. We can see on both sides that the moving averages has been way past over the 50-day moving average, so that is always a very good sign, and most probably we will be doing the same thing in the next coming days. Which brings us to our lovely Swissborg token. Obviously the beta of the market pulling the Swissborg token is doing some good effects. Again, we are above the 50-day moving average, which is really great. Price trading right now is between 54 cents and 83. However, volume should be picking up as we talk. We all are waiting for the listing of CHSB, obviously, on Bitfinex. You know, it's been signed. Things are taking a little bit slower than we thought. Obviously, the deal with our market maker and other things regarding, which is just summertime, it went a little bit slower than we thought. But we're obviously going to get listed very soon. how soon is that is always hard to determine, but we're working hard on it, and will be probably happening for sure in the next weeks. Token pick of the week, Chili's, our friends from Malta, always big fan of that. We know that Chili's is today the leading digital currency for sports entertainment. It's a fan token based. It's a great way where people could participate, give their voice and opinions on how their different sports, teams of sports could really evolve, such as football, UFC, MLB, NBA, gaming. There's so many things that you could really do. I personally really like it. I've been really having fun with Socio app, which is really, really great. I think so. It's a great app where, again, you could have your wallet, you could buy these different Paris Saint-Germain tokens, these different Paris Saint-Germain, by the way, which went crazy insane. I mean, I had like so few tokens of PSG, unfortunately, but it just went crazy because I think so Messi might actually transfer there. And you could have polls. The last poll was about the edition cover, to choose if, the Paris Saint-Germain edition cover, how it would be. Would it look like this or not on FIFA 2022? And I do believe that these questions are still maybe not as much as people would like to ask. We would like to have referendums on maybe things that are much more important, much strategically. But I think so it's already something really good. And I mean, this app, it really shows it's really great. There's cool things about UFC here. You could check out as well. You could always as well hunt, right? When you're hunting, and you could find like these daily hunt tokens that are regarding next to you. And let's say, like, for example, this one right now, I could grab this token, and this token is Associates United. So there you go. It's somewhere here, and I got it. There you go. I got it. So I really like the fact that it's a great company. It's a great team. Chili's utility token. You could convert your Chili's into any different club tokens, which is really good. I really think it's something that will grow in the future, and that's why we think that Chili's is a great token of the week. When you're on board at Swissborg, usually the first week you have introduction, and then the second week what happens is that you have a graduation pitch, and it's the cyber school, and you have to talk about what you really like at Swissborg, or what has been like really, really cool as an experience, or whatever you want, essentially. And I just want to shout out to Shane, my man. He did a great way of explaining the community index. And I know a lot of people always try to think how is calculated the community index. So I'm just going to go through this quickly and try to explain you what is the community index. So for those who know a lot, the community index is the score that we reveal every week after this powwow, during this powwow. And this essentially score gives you way how much we're going to yield on the next week with a Swissborg token, right? And I think so it's something that is really good because it really shows how healthy our whole ecosystem is doing. And I really like the fact that we'll be obviously growing this community index, and the yield 2.0 is going to come. Then in the future, the level of the protect and burn mechanism, the treasury reward is going to be involved as well. We're going to have a refill program incentive. There's going to be more and more different index that really could enable to essentially have scores that show what is the right amount that we should yield, right, on all this Swissborg ecosystem. And I think so it's really good. The community index is a very global one. Then there's be more and more personal indexes, one that could really give you your meritocratic score, which I think so is quite awesome. And I think so there's just scientifically, if you just want to have to understand, is that we really looked at two different ways to measure this community index. One is based on the sigmoid function, and the other one is more on the stochastic oscillator. So it's really trying to see how it has evolved over the last 5 weeks. Okay, and this is something that I think so is really important to distinguish. So these compounding factors, the 6 of them, we slightly have changed this, I think so, a month ago to have a more precise score. And it's break down into the volume, Swissborg token activity, community app, DEO, and by the end, social media. And I think so what we have to understand is that the weighting has changed a bit because it really does show a bit more the health of our structure. So we have 70%, right? That is between the volume Swissborg token and Swissborg Wealth app activity. That is really what it is. And essentially, well, it's based on the past week, right? If the past week we had a little bit of volume, $100 million of volume, and the next week we have 130, that means we have grown of 30%. That means the score would grow, right? Same for the Swissborg token, which is based on the price, but as well the volume itself. Last but not least, based on the new users activity verified, and as well the active users on the 7 days. So we really try to look at this on a short term and on each week, and then the same goes to the community app, DEO, and social media. And I think so. This again really gives us a great score to show, are we growing as an ecosystem? Are we be able to have new products and features as well going forward? It has this really, I think so, great score that brings in how much are we going to yield on next week. Big note as well on the DEO. DEO is growing on a daily basis. The deo.swissborg.com is a great platform that we could essentially enable a lot of people to contribute, hodl but build as well. So we biddle, that's what we do. And I think so it's a great thing for people to improve our ecosystem, grow our ecosystem in the smartest way. And numbers, we have grown to 2,752 members, which is great, that are active. We have 6 counselors. That counselors change every month. There's people that are responsible for the DEO and all the activities within it. We have 218 guardians that as well vet, make sure that all the products and products and services that are being developed are done in a very diligent way. And just regarding that, big shout out to our DEO council. There's Antoine Len, lovely Atilia, I hope you're well. William, Yentels, Ben Deo, Julian As as always. So I really want to thank you guys obviously for this. Congratulations as well to the Season 2 Chiles prediction prize, to Daniel C, CB Turfu as well, and Hugh Ayara. Congratulations for you guys. You win a fair amount of chilies, which is always great. And just to give a little bit structure, but what's happening more and more in the DEO took a very similar approach to SB Nation, which is that we're growing more and more initiatives that are being voted, and these things then be approved. When they're approved, then these initiatives get passed into it, get voted with budgets. And I think so this is a really something interesting, is how we could decentralize more and more not only the governance of the Swissborg, but essentially projects. And going forward, maybe we'll have more and more ways to build a lot of different side projects that could help essentially Swissborg to become more and more awesome and bigger and greater. Again, if you want to be involved, we have a hotline that's split into 2 different things. We have a welcome call every first Friday of the month on Discord, so please check it out, deo.swissborg.com. Be part of the Discord members, and every first Friday there's a really cool welcome talk, and as well every Monday at 6 on Discord as well, there's a DEO feedback call. That's more for those who are really into the DEO and that have a good experience. But I think so this is how we're communicating, how we're organizing it. So check it out. And thank you so much again for all the lovely participants. Swissborg and data. So we have 445 users, 4,000 more than from last week, 1.5 billion. Obviously, this has helped a lot with the market. Last week, things picked up. Even if we're in summer and people are enjoying the beers and the drinks, we are still seeing more activity thanks to the price movement. Obviously, last week almost 20 million in net flow. That means the difference between people inflows and outflows essentially. Most yield subscription of some person was 543, and there's some guy who as well redeemed 400 times. That is a lot of that's very active. But why not? Which brings us to the yield wallets. Overall, pretty good. I'm quite happy that we're back to 1 billion assets, which is good. A little bit, some dollars actually flowing out, USDC flowing out, but that's quite normal when things picks up on other cryptos. CHSB token itself, I think so we're at 18,000 plus premiums, which is great. Hopefully we'll get to very soon 20,000, sorry. We have more and more locked Swissborg tokens, roughly, 72% that is locked into the yield program, and CHSB staked into the premiums, which is great. 10% plus. We have over 1 million dollars in the protect and burn. You shall not pass. And we don't have yet 100,000, so let's grow, guys. Let's grow our friends, bring them into the Swissborg ecosystem. We need this token to ride. So which brings us to the community and is it 7.234 7.4? Overall, things are going quite well. The Swissborg token itself, the volume, the activity, the social media. Didn't do my powwow last week. Alex couldn't do it either, so maybe that's some of that. So sorry guys for that. Geo activity is pumping, which is great. Community app as well. So overall, things are great. Over 7, it's always very, very good. Tomorrow night is crypto night with Carl the Moon, our friend. I think so. I'm going to see him, by the way, this week. I'll be going to South of France and checking out at events, which is cool. And Carl the Moon, as you guys probably know, he's into crypto for a very long time. Very knowledgeable, nice guy. That's from Sweden, and that is a good friend of ours. What do you like to see next week on the powwow? Just please comment, share, like, and write down what you want, and we will make it happen, like always. Guys, after 2 weeks of no powwow, super glad to be back with you. Things are picking up very well, I would say, on the market in general. There's more and more institutional people coming in. Retail is waking up as well in general, which I think so is great. DeFi is still a very, very hot topic. You know, I think so within that Swissborg, we're always trying to look at, you know, what are the new things happening in this market. There's so many things, so it's very, very complicated to track everything, but that's really what we're really focusing. I hope you're enjoying your summer. I hope you're taking the time as well to enjoy time. I think so that's a thing that people usually do in summer. So I hope you're doing this, yet you're enjoying your time, you're enjoying your family, you're enjoying your friends, and you're enjoying the Wealth app. So guys, as always, it's a great honor to be part of this wonderful powwow, this great tool for communication. I wish you all the best. Be healthy, be wealthy, and love our CHSB. Take care, guys. Much love. Bye.
Through Swissborg, all assets will have a fiat gateway. And here is the thing.
Premium features gives you zero fee trading.
It's an amazing fiat gateway.